Welcome to this week's Swarf and Chips. We've got some great features and topics in discussion today, as well as a real treat at the end of the show. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on this. So some highlights coming up today. Mark's up north and in Ireland visiting Clifton Engineering and Ceramics respectively, whilst Gio is at 2G Tooling looking at press tool manufacture. Now don't miss the end of the show where we get a sneak peek into MTD's tactics for the up-and-coming 7-a-side clash with Fanuc on May the 8th. But before all of that, we start this week's Swarf and Chips at Maztech Engineering, where owner Wayne Boucher shows Gio his brand new toy.
We have travelled to Maztech Precision to check out their latest investment, the Mazak i300 AWC. Fully automated, full simultaneous. This is a huge investment, Wayne. How have you evolved to this machine?
So it started off, obviously we was vertical machining centres, a lot like other engineering companies start out. We then evolved into 5-axis machining, single table, but also full simultaneous 5-axis machining. And now we're looking at most of the jobs that we're doing. We're not doing one-offs and two-offs. We're normally doing 50s, 100s, sort of, medium to high volume parts. And most of the jobs that we're doing, we sort of look at, and it's frustrating because when we leave at night, we turn the machines off, and we're sort of thinking, well, if we had an automated machine, we could run this job through the night, and by the time we come in the morning, we could have the same amount of parts that we've run during the day would be done in the morning. And this is why I decided to go for a fully integrated automation system, and hopefully it will pay dividends.
So, are you going to be using this machine then for predominantly higher volume 5th axis work? Is that what you've bought it for, and to get that unmanned running?
Yeah, absolutely. So some of the repeat jobs that we do, if we've got 5s, 10-offs, things like that, we can stick it on there. But predominantly it's the high volume stuff. I know a lot of people say that you don't have to have 32 of the same part. You could have 32 jobs set up and one of each, which you can do. But if you're doing new parts, then you'd struggle to keep up with the programming. So realistically, medium to high volume parts is where we're looking at. A lot of the stuff we do is alley, but we do also cut stainless steel, tool steels. So yeah, it's a bit of a variety, a bit of a mixed bag, but we'll see what jobs we put on it when it's running.
This is one of the first machines in the country. Now, you're a big Mazak user already. What were your considerations when choosing this machine?
I mean, if you look at the cost against a single table 5-axis machine, it's roughly double. But I look at it and I think, well, really, you're getting like 3 times the capacity of a single table machine. If you're running an 8-hour day, you're now getting 24 hours a day. And instead of 5 or 6 days a week, we could get 7. So bang for your buck, it's a lot better off. We're getting a lot more capacity out of the machine. It's got a lot more options and features on the machine to be able to run lights out.
Wayne, thank you. I've got Paul over here. You all right, Paul? What are you doing?
Has anyone seen the red muff anywhere? The red microphone muff? Seen it?
No. Back to you in the studio.
You are such a plonker.
Well, I found it in the end.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, it took me ages to find it though.
Gate crashing my interview, Mr. Jones.
You were upstaging it. Look, I've met Wayne. He's got a great relationship with Mazak. It's such a big investment for a company that's been going for 4 years or something now?
Yeah, and don't we need more Wayne Bouchers in this country? Ones that are, that are young, that are prepared to invest. That they're not scared of, they're not scared of investing because they know it's the future. And in
it's
automation.
It's quite nerve-wracking doing that though, because these are quality machines and they're not.
But you think where he's going to be in, say, 7 years' time when that machine's paid for, the capacity that he'll have to be able to offer the market will be unlike a lot.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I could talk about this video for a long time, from lots of aspects, really.
Hang on,
touching on the automation and the volumes. We say that he's doing higher volume work on there, but in fact it's still relatively low volume as you would know it. That machine in itself is brilliant, and what really fascinated me, it's only twice the cost of a single spindle without automation.
And I don't want to jump across you, but Yeah, I will. 40% efficiency on most machine tools that are a single pallet with no automation. When you step up to something like this, you're looking at up to 99% efficiency.
Oh, really?
So although Gio says it might just be twice the cost, you're more than doubling your productivity, and you can leave it unmanned. And as he said, he's going to get his life back.
Oh, absolutely. It's just unbelievable. It's going to be running 7 days a week. And what I did like about it as well, smallest footprint in its class, and the back-end tooling is modular. So you can pick, so whatever tooling you've currently got, you can choose when you order the machine. So you can use existing tooling.
And I'd just finally question, how do we get our life back?
You're not going to. Never.
Well, maybe we won't.
You're not going to. Right, okay, question for yourself then, watching. Have you recently invested in automation? Is it the way forward? Let us know your opinion using the comments box below. Please, please do, because we like to get your feedback, and we can also sometimes feature you on the show. Our second feature today comes from 2G Tooling, where Gio sizes up an impressive press tool and tries to find a weak link in the business.
Guys, today we've travelled to Southam to 2G Tooling. We've discussed you're only as strong as your weakest link many of times on Swarf and Chips. Now today, I believe I've found someone that hasn't got a weakest link. Now, Chris, you're the owner of this company. How long have you been running this company?
We started the company back in 2013, so 6 years.
Now, we've just had a brief conversation about exactly what I've just said about having a weakest link in regard to your machine tool, your tooling, your back end, your work holding. How important is this to you?
It's all important. Everything, like you say, is the weakest link. Everything's important from the tool holding to that, because it all counts down the ladder.
So give me an example of this. You know, you make components for the automotive industry, large press tools. Now, if you didn't have the tooling and the back ends and the work holding, what would happen? Give us examples of how each aspect complements each other.
Well, from the tooling itself, from the machine down to the tooling, you're looking at surface finish. You're looking at the confidence to be able to put a job on that takes 50, 60 hours and let it run. Be able to come off, not spend days and days polishing and cleaning and making it all spot on when the finish is already there.
So what tooling are you using? What back ends are you using? And what work holding are you using?
At the moment we use Hoffman tooling, Hoffman back ends and MicroLoc work holding.
Now, again, going back to some of the benefits of this, so are you getting longevity and no vibration through your cutting tools and back ends?
We seem to be getting less than most others that I've used before in the past.
So that means you can run the component longer without having to open the doors and change inserts?
Yeah.
And the surface finish and the accuracy has also been improved from this?
Yeah, surface finishes accuracy is proved in everything we do.
Less wear and tear on the spindle?
Less wear and tear on the spindle, we have no problems with the spindles.
Now, going on to the work holding now, you've got MicroLoc. Now, this is a large machine tool that you've got here. Now, is this giving you a lot of versatility? You've got a large component on there at the minute, but do you also do smaller components, and does this enable you to do both?
Yes, we do smaller components. We've got smaller components on our other machine, which again's got MicroLoc. It gives us versatility to basically do large, small, generally anything.
Now, if that component wasn't held securely, what would happen?
Generally it flies off. As soon as the cutting hits it, it flies off, puts a big dent in your machine, costs you money, breaks your cutters.
What happens if it was holding it but not securely? Would it give you vibration?
Yeah, we get vibration. You get surface finish won't be as good. Your cutting tools don't last as long. Basically they break, they chip, they wear.
So have you got the perfect solution here at 2G Tooling?
Ours ain't bad. There's no such thing as perfect, but we work towards it.
Cheers, Chris. Back to you in the studio.
Guys, can you explain what a press tool is, and then talk us through, the video why you need quality tooling?
Go on.
Well, I think that a press tool is for the automotive industry, so it's basically doing the wing of a car or something like that. So you're manufacturing the form that it's going to be, and then it'll press the sheet metal to create that form. Yes. So the surface finish is quite important. Thus the fact that, you know, he mentions the surface finish, the accuracy, but that part took about 40 hours. So you don't want to be kind of having to change inserts all the time. You need to have that longevity and trust in the tooling. But, you know, we've mentioned so many times about the weakest link. And as we've seen there, not only the machine tool, the tooling, the back ends and the work holding, but as an engineer, he lives and breathes engineering. He's the owner of the company, but he's got so much knowledge. And that is also very important.
The thing is as well, what he didn't mention in this video, in fact we should put an overlay of a finished press tool on the screen as well, because that would be good to see. What he didn't mention in this video is that he's only been in business 6 years, but he's had 3 Quaser machines, and in that entire time, those machines, he's only had to call service engineers 3 times, and on all those occasions they've answered his problems over the phone as well. So part of the strategy, by having good quality tooling, work holding, you get less spindle wear, as he said, so the machines last longer. Good quality machine, all of those together give him obviously the perfect marriage.
Yeah.
And flexibility. I mean, he's really got a great setup there. It was great to see an engineer with so much passion, and some of his innovative ideas that he creates himself were great. We're running it without coolant, wasn't he, Paul? Which I've never seen before.
Really?
Yeah,
that's quite interesting.
And the fact that as a business, there's literally only 1 or 2 of them in a factory. That just shows that I'm not trying to put people out of work, but it just shows that he's very, very efficient in his hardware.
Well, engineers, they come through and they either know how to run a business or they're doing the work
impossible to find, though. Took us about an hour to find it. It's like right at the back of a farm, yeah.
Well, it doesn't matter, does it? It's like a gem. Right, I'd be interested to hear from other press tool manufacturers, I think we all would, to see whether you've managed to eradicate all of your weak links. And again, please send those comments in. We want more feedback from yourselves on all the comments box below. So, third on the list today, we go up north all the way to Newcastle at Clifton Engineering, where Wesley Tonks talks to Mark about Hexagon MI software and all the different packages that they have on offer.
Lindsay, I'm here at Clifton Engineering in Northumberland. Now I'm here with Wesley from Hexagon Production Software. Now Wesley, this is quite a unique story here. Tell us a little bit more about it.
Well, this is where we've been working with our tooling distribution partner, ACT. They've come into the account, they've got to know the business, they've got to know the bottlenecks and the challenges this specific customer faces. They've proposed solutions based around their tooling and their use of EdgeCAM as a CAM package, and implemented them solutions, giving the customer more efficiency and cost savings to their business.
And I know that you mentioned earlier it's mainly been EdgeCAM here, but when you look at the portfolio of different products in the Hexagon Production Software side of the business, is it the same for other companies and some of the other packages?
Well, we have many partnerships related to many different CAM offerings. So we're growing now in terms of, we've got production software, we've got metrology. In the production software world, we'll start to innovate more established products. So if we look at a product like Visi, we're now starting to utilise a roamer arm in terms of scanning and creating a lot of points. We're turning that into surfaces through the Visi software and starting to create models. So we can now take that model and put tool paths on it. EdgeCAM, we've now developed a product called EdgeCAM Inspect. So this gives us the ability to actually measure features within a machine tool environment, rather than actually take that part off to find that you need to rework that part, to go through a reset. You can now capture data within that machine tool environment.
Now, when you look at the portfolio as it is, I know you guys are great innovators of solutions, if not acquisitions. Is there something new in the package at the moment?
It's a great time to be with Hexagon Manufacturing Intelligence. We're growing through innovation. We're also growing through acquisition. Last year we bought a company called Spring Technologies. This has a product called NC Simul. Now NC Simul works on the identical twin. So this is actually seeing what the machine tool is seeing and how the machine tool is going to act. And we're seeing terrific savings to end users through collision detection. So, we're not having those accidents that also put a machine tool down.
So simulation then?
Simulation, high-end simulation. but also we're seeing optimization. So we can take that code and we can reduce those cycle times further.
And when you look at the partnerships that you actually got, ACT is a great demonstration that it's not just about, let's say, the manufactured product, it's about an independent tooling company that have helped Clifton Engineering solve their problem.
Yeah, ACT is about getting close to the business. It's about understanding. It's about working that relationship. It's very, very easy to reduce your costs on tooling. It takes more effort, it takes more trust, more confidence to get closer, and for that end user to actually embrace the opportunity.
Well, there you have it, Lindsay. To sum this up, if it wasn't for the partnership, these guys at Clifton Engineering wouldn't be as efficient as they are because they don't have the room to expand.
So basically they're maximising on what they've got already. You know, they haven't got room for floor space. We're hearing so much these days about what the role CAM can play in improving the aspects of the manufacturing process. But how much of a player is Hexagon MI in this market?
Well, personally, I think that since Vero was acquired, that was in 2014 by Hexagon MI, they've got so many different facets to what they offer. You know, some other CAM companies, it's one name, it's one product with different modules. But here you've got obviously the EdgeCAM, the Visi, whether it be pre-production, whether it be inspection. It does seem like that whatever you're looking to do, the metrology, as I said, of the production, you can bolt on a product to suit it. So it does make them a massive, massive player in this market.
It's almost like they're the umbrella, they're capable of everything, but it's go to them and they will find an answer and a solution, because I can't quite differentiate between each of them, but they are capable.
I mean, I think if you looked on the websites, there is some detail on there, but you can find it there.
I thought it was a good example, really, of optimization, like you mentioned, Lindsay, and like from the previous video as well, in regards to using all of your, key features. So, for example, the CAM, and then a collaboration with the tooling. So, bringing all them features together to achieve the best results. And this is a real good example of this. Companies working together to get the best results ultimately for the end user.
There's a lot of trust in that, though. There's a lot of trust. Each aspect of it, whether it be the Hexagon, the customer, or the ACT, they all need to work together, and there needs to be a lot of trust involved to get the best results, which they proved.
We were at TechEmet and we've seen some good examples of collaboration there, didn't we, Paul? And we're seeing it more and more often.
Very capable. Right, okay, so to win a goodie bag this week, here's a question for you. Please comment and let us know your guesses below. To the closest and the correct answer will win the Swarf and Chips merchandise. So in a recent survey conducted by MTDCNC, out of 100 engineering companies that we contacted, how many had a robot on site feeding a machine? I'm going to open the floor to you guys. Actually, no, you know the answer anyway. But maybe what would you think? Going out there, and you're in the companies, I think
for us, it would be a bias. I said biased. It would be an incorrect figure, because we go to a lot of companies that do have automation, because obviously we're taken to them. Yeah. Probably everyone I go to is probably 35-40%, I would say. Maybe a little bit less than that, but I'm not saying that's the right answer.
No.
I'd say the companies I go to, it's a lot less than that. However, I do believe that the UK has finally started to invest in automation and see the benefits of automation. Everywhere I go, people are talking about automation now, and even if they haven't invested in it, they're considering it, which is a good sign.
What I can say is it will be less than Germany, and it will be less than a lot of other Europeans, which is where the problem is.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the question is there for yourself. It's free to guess, and you too can win. there's loads of merchandise. We'll put that all on the screen anyway. So, okay. Last but by no means least, for this week's On Location features, Mark visits ceramics in Ireland.
Lindsay, we like innovations on Swarf and Chips. Now I'm here with Paul from Warwick Machine Tools. Now Paul, you brought us to ceramics, very unique company, very solution providing, but why have you sold these two machines to them?
Well, we sold the two machines to help them with their tooling production. Basically before they had the wire machine, they were just basically milling using old technology to produce their tooling. Now they can machine in the hardened state. They've got a lovely small hole drilling machine there as well to put start holes in, and it's really brought the production of tooling along, so much so that they can now do things that they would never have thought possible.
And are they actually making tooling bespoke for their needs?
Yes, they are. It's only for their own needs. It's quite a specialist field that they actually do in the ceramics industry. But yeah, it's basically everything for themselves. They also do some press tools here as well. And obviously this is ideal for that.
So really, your representation in Ireland, you're not just servicing engineers, you're servicing institutions, colleges effectively, and also companies like this, which is very much into research and development into new structures, I presume. That's really where you guys fit in.
That's right. We service the machines. We obviously do our own installations, but we work with people as well to provide solutions. And yeah, that's a big part of it, meeting people, looking at what people are doing and seeing if we can do something together.
Brilliant, Paul. And that's one thing I will say to you, being in Ireland with Paul for the last couple of days, it's selling by representation and also the service and backup. It's all about the Irish today.
So there's a quote from the Warwick machine tools in reference to their Exotech machines. And they've said, these machines are fast establishing themselves as the best cost to performance ratio machines in the market. So what do you guys think about that?
Well, personally, I think that they're selling a lot more machines these days than they were. But I think that's general across the EDM zone. Because we're talking about them a lot, but I think engineers are noticing that, you know, what they can do with these as opposed to what they would have been able to do with them a few years ago. Obviously a good quality product. I've never seen one in the field myself, but I've heard from a lot of their customers and they do seem to offer the solution of reliability. I think the thing for me I was going to pick out from this is actually ceramics as a company. I looked on their website, some of the products that they supply, thermoforming ovens, infrared heating panels, and an incredible portfolio of products. It's a massive business, and in fact they're supplying product into 80 countries, and they were only founded in 1992. So, and I think this is now part of their push to do more manufacturing in-house.
I think that the EDM market is doing well at the minute in the UK. I think people are looking to invest into this technology, and I think that this is another example of applications that can be used on an EDM machine with the tooling that's getting manufactured at this company. And the network is also doing a fantastic job in promoting EDM machines. We've visited some great companies like High-Tech Aerospace, for example, and we've been invited to Bromford Industries to visit their site where they're using the FANUC EDM soon. So watch this space, and we're going to look at some of the aerospace components that are manufactured on the FANUC EDM.
I think a lot of it's about the controls these days, the software, the ease of programming for these machines. Also, you know, the fact they've got an EDM hole drill there, they can start the process. It's one cell, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. We were talking about it more and more, and I think a lot of people are being surprised, hence when we were at the FANUC Open Day anyway. Yeah. Okay, so just before we go, we've got a treat for you. Last month, FANUC challenged MTDCNC to a game of 7-a-side. So whilst we've yet to win any of our previous engagements, you know I'm not playing right, it's fair to say our squad has strengthened. Our manager, thank goodness, has changed. And it's true. And on May the 8th, the scene is set for these two giant names in the industry to go head to head. So earlier, I caught the guys preparing for this epic encounter in the tactics room. So I'm here now and they're in there having a pre-match talk. So let's go and have a look inside.
So guys, looking forward to the game on May the 8th against FANUC in Coventry at the Alan Higgs Stadium.
Big game.
Now what happened last time? What happened last time? Seriously.
Strategy. The strategy.
There's nothing wrong with the strategy.
Manager.
Perfect. I thought actually assembled the perfect team. But anyway, I've been looking at FANUC's, we'll come back to that, I've been looking at FANUC's weaknesses. I'll start with the goalkeeper. Now, I know our goalkeeper isn't the best, okay, but he's as good as we can get. Look at some of the mistakes that they make. Look at complacency
I have done that, yeah.
in the goal. I mean, what do you do, Colin, when the ball bounces?
It doesn't bounce when I catch it before it lands.
Yeah, but what do you go to meet the ball? Or
absolutely, I get a big shout. If they don't hear me shout, you're getting out of the way.
And what about this one? You've done that, Colin, a few times, haven't you?
Yeah, hit the bar many a time.
To be fair, Colin's got a bad back from all that bending down.
Where did he get that from? He shouldn't be practising his external activities.
But he was man of the match.
I think what's evident here is the defenders look a shambles as well, and this is one thing we've got to address. We've got to make sure we keep a high line.
But we can't be flamboyant like last time. We were
Gio, I thought it wasn't about our performance. It was the opposition and how good they were. What about the attackers? Fanuc attackers, guys, attention! Can you watch this, please? Fanuc attackers. Look, this is what we're up against, Colin. Even if you play to your normal standard, they will struggle to score. Even if you play to your normal standard, the same with you and Joe and Mark at the back. Even if you don't do what you should do, which is normal, then we should stand a chance. Because look, they keep putting it over the bar.
Had that covered.
You see, so anyway, what are we going to change? What's going to be different?
Well, I think for what? Our man of the match needs to be the striker, not the goalkeeper. You know, we lost 8-1, and the goalkeeper was man of the match. That's so it's not.
I've been training near Paris, certain team, you know, and I've got to say they do it different. They do it different.
So what do we say now? Are we questioning the manager?
Wow. Yeah.
So what do you say? Okay, well, I'll tell you what. We'll have a vote.
I think democratic.
I was manager at the last game. Are we saying I should be manager at the next one, or should we? Hands up if you think you should sack the manager. Oh, for Pete's sake, that's confidence for you, isn't it?
So that was confident.
I'll tell you what. You lot sort it out yourselves. I'll go on the pitch.
I think Jones needs to go.
You know, well, Theresa May.
Yeah, I think get him up front.
Yeah, no, he tried out last time. He didn't play. He had a bad back. Did he? Yeah, but we've got a new recruit, Ryan. Him and Joe at the back. That's going to be like the bloody Berlin Wall, I reckon.
I've heard Fanuc are putting a robot in goal.
Are they?
No,
You're joking.
You're all right, Paul. Controversy?
They've just told me they don't want me to manage the team.
Yeah, but I fired you at Fanuc anyway.
Yeah, but Lindsay, I mean, what else are we going to do? Who else we got? I mean, I suppose we could go back to Carl, but we lost Den as well.
Why don't we ask everyone who's watching?
That's what a good idea. If you got managerial credentials, could you manage the MTD team on May the 8th against Fanuc? Be really good to hear from you if you could. They could contact us, couldn't they?
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah. You need a medal if you did want to.
Be the MTD manager, May the 8th against Fanuc. Alan Higgs Stadium in Coventry. Contact us.
So that's it from this week's show. Next week, we bring you features from overseas from WFL and Grob. These are two of the world's most technologically advanced machine tool manufacturers. Well, you can see the guys have left me. They're talking football tactics or however they're going to improve. So it's for me to close the show. Thank you for watching this week's Swarf and Chips. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. And as we always say, keep those spindles turning.